You have written to FIFA. You've asked them that the player status committee statutes are enforced on the NFF. You have also mentioned that the NFF has not shown enough willpower. Let's find a way out of this, Austin Popo. The NFF writes to the LMC, tells them write to,
in the first instance, it was even wrong for the NFF to write to the LMC. They would have written to the state FA.
That's right.
Because normally FIFA
let's just respect the LMC. They're the ones controlling the league at the moment. And then they write to Austin's club, pay your players. And then they say they don't have money. What should they do?
These same clubs, you are saying they don't have money. I'm telling you that we have 1 or 2 or 3 judgments. You see, every time we go on saying the clubs don't have, I just paint a scenario for you. Okay, money you didn't bargain you were going to have. You understand me? Suddenly you saw money. Even no matter how small, you didn't even show any good. It's just a deliberate act to say, look, we are not paying players because we are not concerned about players' welfare. But look at what happened to Emetele of recent. The same Emetele, don't forget that it was part of the decision we passed by the arbitration in 2010 that they couldn't enforce. But when it got to the point he had serious challenge, decision will be taken to enforce this thing. You see, the issue of players' welfare and coaches' welfare, to me, is not of importance to them, and which is very unfortunate. You see, I must commend, let me just tell you, I must commend the LMC chairman. As I speak with you right now, he has, on his own, he has been able, there are payments that are going on, about 100,000 naira is being given to players and coaches that are being owed. But what is 100,000 naira compared
professional footballer?
No, compared to death, we are talking about players who are owing about some 3-point-something million, 2-point-something million. Look at the volume of the amount we are talking about. It's close to about 260-something million. Then we are talking about cases yet undecided because even the players, because the Players Arbitration Status Committee is unable to sit even as I speak with you.
But these problems will consume us. So each time I think about players' welfare, coaches' welfare, I just break down, and I'm sure you're feeling the same way too. Let's find a way out of this thing. Now, players, do they also have a fault? Because people sign contracts in the name of I just want to play football. So what are we doing to also ensure that players are educated properly, particularly on contract and negotiation? What is NANPF doing?
We are already working something hard with the LMC. You understand me? For example, we're going to have something like a collective bargaining agreement. There are going to be provisions, a lot of mechanisms that's going to put in place where, in conjunction with the LMC and the other leagues, we will now go out, Players actually need education. And for example, you see, you cannot on your own unilaterally begin to sign documents without even involving the issue of the players' union. These are some of the things we need to actually look at. There has to be a standard contract for all players and coaches. Don't be surprised, even some of the higher-ranking coaches in Nigeria, some of them didn't even have contracts, which is unfortunate. So what we are doing is actually to help the system. Because as it stands today, the federation, when it comes to the issue of enforcement, is helpless. That is where we are today.
Okay, so we're taking a look at players' welfare, coaches' welfare generally in football, in Nigerian football. Austin Popo is the General Secretary of the Nigeria National Association of Nigeria Professional Footballers, and they are fighting for the welfare of players. So at what stage is this correspondence with FIFA, and how favorable will it be?
Well, we are already properly positioned. As I speak with you, we arrange for a lawyer. If it's not favorable, then we also take it to the next stage, which is CAS. We had to exhaust all the mechanism that has to do with the football system. At the end of the day, if we don't have justice, then we look for another solution. Don't also forget that recently, about last week, the Trade Union Congress President, Baba Kagama, myself, and Daru Sadi, we had a meeting with the LMC chairman, Shehu Deko, in his office. These are some of the things we are discussing. The issue of clubs not having enough money to pay and all those sentiments. You see, if we have 10 clubs that are able to play the professional league, so be it. So, you see, look at all this scenario. How many private-owned clubs are involved in this debt?
But somehow, but we also we hear cases. We hear cases of some private clubs still owing players
at the Premier League level.
We hear those cases.
Maybe they've not been reported.
Surprisingly, even before the start of the program,
they've not been reported.
Before the start of the season.
Let me tell you, when I talk about not showing good, for example, the issue of I'm going to be specific now.
Okay, please do.
These clubs, these debts we are talking about. If you look at the clubs that are being involved, about 6 or 7 of them having huge debts. For example. The issue of Kano Pillars, for example, the debt is less than 1 million naira. So you can't pay 1 million naira if there's goodwill. The Aqua United stuff, the former governor, I was involved in that case, released about 51 million naira to pay the debt. But in between Uyo and the NFF, only 19 million naira was being paid. What happened to the rest balance? Issues. So we even went as far as to EFCC. We didn't get any justice as at that time. That was in the former dispensation anyway.
Okay, let's get your reaction to all of this. We're taking a look at players and coaches' welfare in football in Nigeria. Now, it's a pretty good one. Austin Popo and his team, they're trying to see a way out of it for Nigeria. What do you think? Let's be part of Nation Building. You can talk to us on Twitter, channels_sports, and on Facebook, channels iFin Sports. I'll just run through some. Everyone talking about the return of Vincent Inyamabo. This one says, players are also at fault. They sign contracts without proper knowledge, and sometimes they just want to play football. You see, and we mentioned it.
This is not even the issue of contract now. This is issue of debt we owe them. When it comes to the issue of contract, this is a decision that has been taken by a proper body of the NFF, a status players of the NFF, which have 2 board members of the NFF. So, well, you see, let us separate what we are talking about from what we're talking about now. We are talking about a decision that was taken by a body that has not been enforced.
Okay.
So we also know that there are challenges when it comes to the issue of players' contract. And we address that when it comes to that.
Okay, I must say thank you so much to people for coming around. All the best.